Let me quickly compare and contrast three great unsecured credit cards for bad credit, 100% approval. So we have Credit One, Total, and First Access. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love this. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you are to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to compare and contrast Credit One, Total Card, and First Access. And of course, we're speaking here about unsecured credit cards for bad credit, 100% approval. The thing is, it's very important to understand that most credit cards for bad credit are secured cards, meaning that you have to make a deposit, and that deposit becomes your initial credit limits, and so on and so forth. But in today's show, we are actually comparing and contrasting three credit cards for bad credit that are, check this out, unsecured. These issuers do not require a deposit, and you can start using your card as soon as you are approved. One thing I have to mention though, all credit cards for bad credit, whether unsecured or secured, are pretty expensive, right? It comes with the territory. You have to pay for it. The high fees are meant to offset the risk the card issuer is taking by lending to you, a consumer with a low FICO score. And so there are 5 important things you need to pay attention to when evaluating which credit card you should choose between Credit One Bank Unsecured Visa, Total Visa Credit Card, and First Access Visa Credit Card. So you have to pay attention to the credit limits, the annual fee, very important, the APR, the rewards rate, and the perks. By perks, I mean free monthly credit score, credit education, customer service, and so on and so forth. Before I get into the actual review, please check out our short video about the credit card evaluation, our credit card evaluation approach. We do have on this show a very rigorous method for evaluating, categorizing, and listing credit cards. So check this out. Okay, let's get into the actual review here. Let's start with Credit One Bank Unsecured Visa. What are the pros and cons of this little jewel here? The pros: 1% cash back on eligible purchases. And this card is available to people with poor credit, no credit, bankruptcy, all kinds of credits, but specifically for people who have a credit score below 500. And you also have automatic credit line increase reviews. We'll love that also because they allow you to actually be promoted to a higher tier once you have demonstrated a pattern of on-time payments. What about the cons? The annual fee oscillates between $0 and $99. They have a high APR and they have a low limits. And what I want to say here is that the Credit One Bank Visa credit card is one of the most popular credit cards for people with bad credit, largely because it's one of the few unsecured cards that applicants with poor credit scores can get approved for. In addition to the $300 minimum credit line, Credit One's Platinum Visa offers rewards and regular credit limit increases, or at least the potential for both. Okay, and this is really good. And what are the key terms here? Credit limits at least 300. We've seen people who actually got a limit as high as 5,000. Yes. The annual fee, $0 to $99. The APR oscillates between 17.99% to 23.99%. Okay, 17.99 to 23.99. What is the rewards rate? 0 to 1% cashback. With all that being said, your decision to apply or not for this card should ultimately rest on your need or lack thereof. of an emergency loan, right? Because if obtaining one is a necessity to cover the cost of car repairs or medical treatment, for example, Credit One's Platinum Visa will be one of your top options, really. Okay, and so this is something you have to sort of love, you have to be comfortable with, and we also love the fact that they also offer a whole range of educational resources. They're able to work with you. In the last 5 years, and we've been tracking this company for a while now, and Credit One Bank Unsecured Visa, they have offered their consumers, their clients, a whole range of educational features, including debt management, the ability to plan your budget, personal finance. They have a blog, they have articles, so they have a whole constellation of features and resources that will help you. Okay. I want to quickly talk about some of the key terms when it comes to Credit One, because I think it's really important. This is what we call the differentiating factors here. You have automatic credit line increase reviews. So they do this automatically. So you don't have to contact them. They will automatically review you. It happens about every 3 months. Every 3 months where you have on-time payments, you are eligible for it. And what they do is that they will actually do it, and if they see that you are approved for a higher limit, they will notify you. Okay, and this is really, we think, is a great opportunity for in terms of incentives, right, for a customer to think twice about going over the limit, or when it comes to paying off their balance in full every month. Most credit card companies make it a practice to consider customers for higher credit limits. They just don't always advertise it. What's more, Credit One does not disclose either the frequency with which cardholders will be evaluated for an increase or the criteria used to make the final determination. One thing for sure, as long as you keep making payments on time and you just discipline, you will get the increase you need, all right? And but don't forget though, with Credit One credit card, as I said, you have an annual fee of up to $99. Not only does this card's pricey annual fee promise to consume a healthy portion of your starting credit line, but you'll also be kept in the dark about how much it will end up costing you until well after you have submitted your application. And this is really high. Let's say, for instance, if you get approved for a $300 credit limit and they're charging you $99 as annual fee, that's 33% taken right off the bat from your credit limit. So you can only spend $201. So this is kind of high. And you have a high interest rate. I talked about that. So 17.99% all the way to 23.99% variable based on your credit standing. And this is and other things to consider is that you can get a free monthly credit score. So credit score access is extremely beneficial for people with damaged credit, providing a barometer with which to measure improvement. Okay, so having access to that is pretty cool. Of course, you're paying for it like indirectly through the fees and all that, but it's good to have. It's a nice to have. I want to talk to you now about Total Visa credit card. So we've finished with the Credit One Bank Unsecured Visa. Let's talk about the Total Visa credit card. Now, this is one of those cards out there that you should consider. And the Total Visa credit card is a very cheap unsecured credit card for people with bad credit. And the Total Visa card does not require applicants to place a refundable security deposit, right? But it does charge high fees, same thing as a Credit One Bank Unsecured Visa, right? And their fees start with an $89 what they call program fee that's assessed before account opening. There is also a $75 annual fee for the first year, which is replaced by a total of $123 in monthly and annual fees each year after, okay? And what do you get in return for those non-refundable fees? A fairly low limit and a very high APR. So the Total Visa card's credit limit is $300 to start, and its regular APR is 34.99%, almost twice as much as the average secure credit card charges. So as a result, whether you are in the market with a secured card or unsecured card, you should be able to do better than the Total Visa. Now we'll see. This card has other perks that you might want to consider. It's expensive, that is true, but let's look at some of the things you might want to take into account before making a final decision. So you have monthly credit bureau reporting. So the Total Visa card reports account information to the 3 major credit bureaus each month. This will help you build positive credit history if you don't miss due dates or max out your spending limits. And they have actually they have interest. Of course, the fees are expensive. I've already said that. You have also the APR, which is kind of high, and they do have card design options. So Total Visa allows you to choose a design for your card from their gallery for free. There are a handful of options, including dogs and cats, flowers, a beach scene, and an American flag design. Now, not that I'm not saying this really matters because we're having a conversation about credit here, but if you are the kind of customers and you just want to have a nice design, yeah, you might want to consider a Total Visa credit card. They also have they require a bank account, so you need a checking account to get approved for the Total Visa credit card. It will be used to facilitate monthly payments. This is fairly standard, but not all credit cards require a bank account. Okay, something you need to think about. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. I'm just doing a compare and contrast between Credit One, Total Visa card, and First Access. So I've already covered Credit One Bank's unsecured Visa. Now I want to cover Total Visa card, and I want to give you more info about that card. It's a card that is very expensive. I've already said that, and it has other perks or other features, if you will. So you have the Total Visa card phone number. So that this is 844-548-9721. So people who don't yet have a Total Visa card can call 844-206-4371 for questions about the application or paying the Total Visa program fee. So you can do the application online, or you can contact them and they will send you an email or they will fax you an email depending on where you live, and you can send everything to them via fax or email, or you can even do it over the phone in some cases. You also have a Total Visa card processing fee. So the fee is important to remember because a lot of folks, they love the Visa because of the design and everything, but they forget about the fees. So the processing fee is $89. So this fee, which the Total Visa calls a program fee, is assessed prior to account opening and card activation. Very important. You have to pay this before they even open the account, before they even process your application. You also have the Total Visa card credit limits. This is 300 for now. Very rarely have we heard people, actually someone who got $1,000 with Total Visa. It's 300. The maximum is 450 in our research, sometimes 475. So a new cardholder's initial available credit limit will be 225. If you think about the fact that they have the first year annual fee of $75, they will assess that. So if they give you 300 and they assess 75, you are left with 225. But don't forget that you have already paid $89, right? And so in terms of the activation, so to activate a Total Visa card, you need to pay the one-time program fee for the account, fund your approved application on the Total Visa website, and then you need to follow the instructions to activate your card. The fee, you can actually pay that fee through a bank account or through another credit card. Okay, so this is what you need to know about the Total Visa credit card. Now let's talk about the First Access Visa credit card. If you have poor credit, one step to rebuilding is showing that you can manage credit cards responsibly, right? So the First Access Visa credit card is actually designed to help you do that. And we love the fact that they will report to all three major credit bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. So paying your balance on time can help you to improve your credit score. And as with many credit cards like this one, one of the drawbacks is what? Higher fees, right? And also a low initial credit line. What are the card details? So checking account is required. Perfect credit is not required for approval. So they will approve everybody, even if you've been declined elsewhere. If you have bankruptcies on your credit file, they will. If you have charge-offs, if you have collections accounts, everything is fine. They will accept you. The 300, they will give you a $300 credit line. This is subject to available credit, of course. They have an easy and secure online application. You can get a result in as little as 60 seconds upon completion of the application, and you can get the security and convenience of a full-featured Visa's credit card that reports to all three major credit bureaus. What are the pros and cons here? Pros: it's available to those with poor credit. They'll report to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. The cons: you have high APR, numerous fees, low initial credit lines, and no rewards. Okay, something you have to think about. And of course, one thing you need to pay attention to also when thinking about the first Access Visa credit card is that they do pay attention to the application fee, the application process a lot. Okay, this is basically a card, as you can imagine, that is designed for people with bad credit, also called subprime users in the United States. All right, and the you don't need a credit history. Actually, this will work for people with bad credit or no credit, and they do charge a lot of fees. For me, at least in our analysis, we believe that the fees are justified because it's an investment in your future. It's an investment to actually reap, to sort of quote unquote fix the mistakes of the past. And if you look at it from the lender or the credit card issuer's perspective, this fees help credit card issuers defer some of the risk they take when they open accounts for those with poor credit scores. Okay, but one thing for sure, if you're not careful, the extra cost can quickly add up. So that's why you need to read the fine prints when considering any credit card for that matter. All right, and let's talk about other features you need to be aware of when we talk about the first Access Visa credit card. So you have the purchase APR is kind of high, 34.99%. Transfer APR, there's none. The cash advance APR is also 34.99%. Minimum interest charge is 50 cents. Grace period 21 days. The annual fee $75 for the first year, then $48 the second. Balance transfer fee not applicable. Cash advance fee $0 for the first year, thereafter $10 or 3% of the advanced amount, whichever is greater. Okay. Foreign transaction fee none. And you have a late payment fee of up to $40. You have a return payment fee of up to $40 too. And so one thing I want to say here is that, is this card really right for you? Well, the first Access Visa credit card gives you access to a small credit line at a price, a very high APR plus plenty of fees. So if you had trouble, say, getting approved for credit, this trade-offs may be worth your time and worth your consideration. Okay. Now, if you would like to explore other options, you can also check out a secured credit card, which may offer a higher spending limit, a lower APR, and even some perks. So either way, you're going to have to pay something, right? And especially the high annual fee for the first year. When we talk about first Access Visa, the high annual fee for the first year is a big deal. But again, we've seen people who were comfortable paying the $75, knowing that they could actually increase the credit score after time. They can build credit, which is the whole goal after all here, right? And but one thing I want to say here is that whether it is First Access Visa, Total Visa, Credit One Bank Unsecured Visa, there are cheaper alternatives out there. You can go for a credit builder credit card. You can go for a credit builder loan. You have debit cards that act as credit cards. For example, if you take the Extra card that we have reviewed on other shows, you can also take the Chime card, which is it acts as a secured card, but it has rewards. So those are cheaper alternatives. And so the money you give into Credit One Bank, Unsecured, Total Visa, or First Access in terms of fees can be actually used for other things. So folks, this is it for today's conversation. So I've actually compared and contrasted Credit One Bank Unsecured Visa, Total Visa credit card, and First Access Visa credit card. So which card is best for you? One thing I will say very clearly is that it depends on your situation, really. It really depends on your situation. The card you ultimately choose to have will be a reflection of your situation, of your goals, of your financial objectives for the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. It also depends on your family situation. Do you have a family budget, or are you single? That kind of stuff. Okay, there are a few criteria you need to pay attention to when considering any credit card, especially The unsecured credit cards for bad credit, 100% approval. So you have the credit limits. Some of them will give you a minimum of 300. You want to go for those that have a higher credit limits. You also need to pay attention to the annual fee. Okay, so if you have to compare the annual fee that Credit One Bank Unsecured Visa charges versus the one that Total Visa credit card charges and the First Access Visa credit card charges. Think also about the APR. APR is the annual percentage rates. So this is basically a combination of all the interest rate, but also the other fees. You have to think about the rewards rates. Are there any rewards with the cards you are considering? For example, if you look at the Total Visa or the Credit One Bank Unsecured Visa, for example, that has 1% cashback on eligible purchases. That's not the case for Total Visa credit card, and that's definitely not the case for the First Access Visa credit card also. So you have to think about that, and you also need to think about the perks. Then those perks are important, especially if you are in what we call in a fragile transition phase. In other words, you are building or rebuilding credit. So this is kind of fragile. So you want to hang on to those perks as much as possible. What are those perks? You have free monthly credit score, credit education, customer service. If you're looking for a digital experience like an app where you can actually monitor your payments, you can monitor your credits, that kind of stuff. So those perks are important for newbies, if you will. All right, folks. So which is our pick? We have picked today. Our pick is Credit One Bank Unsecured Visa Card. Our score, 7.5 over 10. Then we have Total Visa Credit Card, 6.5 over 10. And then we have First Access Visa Card, 6 over 10. And we picked Credit One Bank Unsecured Visa Card because it has more benefits than other cards, even though there are generally better cards even than Credit One Bank Unsecured Visa. But our pick for today's conversation, our pick for today's review is Credit One Bank Unsecured. Thank you so much for your attention, folks. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.